I never thought I'd be writing one of these posts, but here I am. My soon-to-be ex-wife and I had been married for 12 years. We have 2 amazing kids, a beautiful home in the suburbs, and I thought we had a solid marriage. We met in college, dated for 3 years before getting married, and I genuinely believed we were happy. Sure, we had our ups and downs like any couple, but nothing major. At least that's what I thought. The first sign something was off came about 4 months ago. Sarah, not her real name, started working late more often. She's an account manager at a marketing firm, and she claimed they had landed a major client who needed urgent attention. I didn't think much of it. Her career has always been important to her, and I've always supported that. Then came the business trips. Suddenly, she needed to visit clients in neighboring cities, sometimes staying overnight. Again, I didn't question it. Trust has always been the foundation of our relationship. Or so I believed. But things kept adding up. She became protective of her phone, changed her passwords, started dressing differently when leaving for work events. The classic signs were all there, but I was in denial. It was my best friend Marcus who finally opened my eyes. He saw Sarah at a restaurant with another man. They weren't just having a business dinner. They were holding hands, kissing. He took photos, hesitantly showed them to me the next day. I felt like someone had punched me in the stomach. Instead of confronting her immediately, I decided to hire a private investigator. Maybe there was an explanation. Maybe Marcus was mistaken. But deep down, I knew. The PI's report confirmed everything. Sarah was having an affair with her coworker, Tom, 41M. They'd been seeing each other for at least 3 months. The PI provided photos, timestamps, hotel records, evidence that made me physically sick when I saw it. What hurt the most wasn't just the betrayal, but the elaborate lies. The stories she'd tell about difficult client meetings were actually dates with Tom. The work trips were romantic getaways. While I was at home with our kids, making their lunches and helping with homework, she was building a second life. I met with a divorce attorney immediately. Given the clear evidence of infidelity, he advised me on the best course of action. We live in a no-fault state, but the documentation would help with negotiations later. We prepared the divorce papers, and I waited for the right moment. That moment came when Sarah announced another overnight business trip to a luxury hotel just an hour away from our home. She claimed it was for an important client meeting and team-building exercise. "I'll miss you guys, but I'll be back tomorrow evening," she told the kids, kissing them goodbye. Then she kissed me too. The audacity of it made my skin crawl. After she left, I packed a small overnight bag. I called my sister to watch the kids, telling her only that Sarah and I needed to have an important conversation. Then I got in my car and followed the directions to the hotel the PI had confirmed she'd be at with Tom. The entire drive, my hands gripped the steering wheel so tightly my knuckles turned white. The divorce papers sat in a manila envelope on the passenger seat. I had rehearsed what I would say, but my mind was racing with 1,000 different thoughts. I arrived at the Grand Meridian Hotel at 8:30 p.m. It was one of those upscale places with valet parking and a fountain in the lobby. My stomach churned thinking about how many of our hard-earned dollars had funded their little rendezvous over the past months. The front desk clerk glanced up as I approached. I'd rehearsed this part carefully. "Good evening. I'm here to surprise my wife for our anniversary," I said with a practiced smile. "She checked in earlier today?" Sarah Johnson. The clerk's fingers danced across the keyboard. "Yes, she's in room 718. Would you like me to call up and let her know you're here?" "No, thank you. It's a surprise," I replied. The clerk seemed to hesitate, so I added, "I'd like to order some champagne sent up as well." That sealed it. He gave me a knowing smile and a keycard. "Congratulations on your anniversary, sir." If he only knew. The elevator ride to the 7th floor felt like an eternity. I clutched the manila envelope containing the divorce papers, my palms sweaty. I wasn't angry anymore, just hollow, determined to get through this with dignity. When I reached room 718, I stood outside for a minute, gathering my courage. I could hear faint laughter inside, Sarah's distinctive laugh that used to bring me joy. Now it just confirmed what I already knew. I knocked 3 times. "Room service," I called out, lowering my voice slightly. The laughter stopped. I heard shuffling, whispers. Then Sarah's voice. "We didn't order anything. Complimentary champagne for the guests in 718, I replied. More whispers. Then footsteps approaching the door. Sarah opened it wearing a hotel bathrobe, her face flushed, either from guilt or whatever activities I had interrupted. The moment our eyes met, all color drained from her face. Her mouth opened, but no words came out. Behind her, I could see Tom scrambling to gather his clothes, his expression one of pure panic. "Surprise," I said quietly, stepping into the room. "Don't worry, Tom. You don't need to leave on my account. This won't take long." Sarah found her voice. "What are you doing here? How did I know?" I finished for her. "I've known for weeks, Sarah. The late nights. The weekend trips. The mysterious client who needed so much attention. Tom had pulled on his pants and was reaching for his shirt. Look, man, I think I should go. Actually, I think you should stay, I said, my voice steady. You're part of this too. You should hear what I have to say. Sarah's eyes darted between me and the envelope in my hands. The kids are with my sister. I cut her off. They're fine. They don't know anything yet, but they will soon enough. I opened the envelope and pulled out the divorce papers. I've already spoken with a lawyer. Everything's prepared. All you need to do is sign. Sarah stared at the papers, tears welling in her eyes. You can't just. This isn't. We need to talk about this. We're past talking, Sarah. I have all the evidence I need. I placed the papers on the desk near the window. Photos, hotel receipts, text messages. Did you really think I wouldn't find out? Tom was now fully dressed, standing awkwardly by the bathroom door. Sarah, maybe I should. Sit down, Tom, I said firmly. To my surprise, he obeyed. You wanted my wife? Well, in about 60 days, she won't be my wife anymore. But you should know what you're getting. The woman who could lie to her husband of 12 years can just as easily lie to you. Sarah was crying now, mascara running down her cheeks. Please, let me explain. Explain what? How you looked me in the eye every day and lied. How you kissed our children goodbye to come here with him. What exactly needs explanation? Sarah collapsed onto the edge of the bed, her face in her hands. I never meant for this to happen, she sobbed. It just happened. Things like this don't just happen, Sarah. I replied, my voice eerily calm even to my own ears. You made choices. Every lie, every text, every night in hotels like this. Those were all choices. Tom cleared his throat. Look, I know I'm the last person who should speak right now, but you're right. I cut him off. You are the last person who should speak. But since you're here, I have a question for you. Does your wife know you're here? His face paled. Sarah's head snapped up, looking at him in shock. You're married? She whispered. The look on Tom's face told me everything I needed to know. Sarah hadn't even bothered to find out if her affair partner was married. The web of deception was even larger than I thought. 7 years, Tom mumbled, unable to meet Sarah's eyes. We've been having problems. Sarah let out a bitter laugh. Problems? Right. That's what we all say, isn't it? I almost felt sorry for her in that moment. Almost. I'm not here to cause a scene, I said, pulling out a pen and placing it beside the divorce papers. I'm not going to shout or threaten. I just want you to sign these papers, and then I'll go. And what about the kids? Sarah asked, wiping her tears. What about our home? You can't just decide everything on your own. I'm not. The papers outline joint custody. You know I would never keep the kids from you, despite all this. As for the house and assets, my lawyer has proposed a fair division. You can have your lawyer review it. Tom stood up awkwardly. I think I should leave you two to talk. Running away when things get difficult, Tom? I asked. Seems to be a pattern with you. He grabbed his jacket and headed for the door without responding. Sarah didn't even watch him go. Once the door closed behind him, the room fell silent except for Sarah's quiet sobs. I waited, standing by the window, looking out at the city lights below. I still love you, she finally said, her voice small. I know you won't believe me, but I do. You're right. I don't believe you. Love doesn't do this, Sarah. She looked up at me, mascara streaked across her face. Can we at least try counseling? For the kids. I shook my head. I've thought about this for weeks. There's no coming back from this level of betrayal. I deserve better. The kids deserve better than parents who pretend. So that's it. 12 years just over. You ended our marriage the moment you started this affair. I'm just making it official. I gestured to the papers. Sign them now, or have your lawyer review them first. Either way, we're done. Sarah picked up the pen with trembling hands. She flipped through the pages, pausing at each signature line. Then, in a moment that seemed to stretch forever, she signed her name in all the marked places. When she finished, she handed the papers back to me, our fingers briefly touching in the exchange. It was the last time we would touch as husband and wife. I'm sorry, she whispered. I nodded, taking the papers and returning them to the envelope. I know you are, but sometimes sorry isn't enough. As I turned to leave, she called out, what do we tell the kids? I paused at the door. The truth, in an age-appropriate way, that sometimes adults make mistakes and can't live together anymore, but we both love them more than anything. And us? What happens to us now? We learn to be co-parents instead of spouses. We put the kids first. And eventually, we move on. With that, I walked out of room 718, closing the door on 12 years of marriage and a future I once believed in. The weight of the envelope in my hand was both an ending and a beginning. In the elevator down to the lobby, I finally let myself feel everything I'd been holding back. Anger, grief, relief, but also, unexpectedly, hope. For the first time in months, I felt like I could breathe again. When I reached my car, I sat for a moment, hands on the steering wheel. Then I started the engine and drove toward my sister's house, toward my children, toward whatever came next.